Two receivers, Cooley top of the screen against Kenneth Lyons. Red Feather to throw. Red Feather going to the end zone. It is a touchdown. Cooley, the Bulldogs have the lead.
Two to the left, one to the right. In the backfield is Streeter with one more. Hand off Streeter, gonna try to find a hole. He does. He's gonna try to break another tackle. He does. Out to the 20. He's gonna go for the pylon, and he's gonna get in to the house. Reggie Streeter with his fourth touchdown scamper of the day gives Louisiana their first lead of the day.
You might want to look at Reggie Streeter with his fourth touchdown, but watch the block here. It looked like number 59 for the Vancouver Legion here was going to have the angle on him.
On the previous play, you know, they represent the city of broad shoulders.
The player with railroads.
And the throw by Dunhill is complete to Jamal Wooding, and he scores the touchdown on the very next play. Touchdown, Atlanta.
Wow, Atlanta derails the Chicago defense on that play. He gets behind him.
It's just everybody let him go, and Maurice Spurgeon was the only one back.
Two backs and three receivers as Marconi drops to throw. And no pressure on Marconi at all. And the pass is picked off, and the defender, or the receiver, fell over. That's Koyama Shigeki, and he scores. Touchdown Legends on a pick six from Marconi. And the receiver fell over as he breaks for the football. Actually, Cooley thought he had a catch and was just trying to get his feet in bounds. And the Legends.
Second down and 6. Titans is down 4. Cantrell empty backfield, and Cantrell off his back foot. Touchdown! What a throw from Cody Cantrell to DR Sim. That was masterful.
I thought that for sure was going to be knocked away or picked off. Anytime you see any SFL quarterback scrambling out of the pocket, it's usually not a good sign, but DR Sim gets so wide open here that he has such a huge target there for
Step drop from Pickler over the middle. Another interception. Going.
Good
Had
pass.
a big game last week, and he's off to the races. No one can catch him. Baltimore are cruising here in the first half. Touchdown Vultures.
And we just talked about it. Johnny could not afford the mistakes. That's his second interception thrown here in his first half. Alvin Mack, I've said it time and time again, every time I call their games, he gets sideline to sideline as well as any linebacker in this league. He takes advantage of a bad situation and turns it to 6.
They'll start off with no Jared McChesney, and Josh Miller will throw. Looking top of the screen, it's picked off right into the hands of Iverson Gamble. A great start for Arizona. Gamble chasing down to the sideline, and Jeremy Mosley prevents a touchdown. What a play for Iverson Gamble, the 7th-year corner, and what a start for the Scorpions.
Second down and 10, 3 receivers. Now they go to Parker on a stretch. Haven't seen that much of the night. Breaks the tackle, and then another, and he's down at the 1. He looked into me, honestly. Let's see the replay again. Parker breaks 2 tackles. Orlando's just throwing a little bit of everything at him tonight, and he's
3-receiver set. William Dula in the gun. William Dula to throw, firing deep over the middle. Has a man, Jalen Miller, past the defenders, 5, touchdown, Carolina. Jeff Duffy in the chat just now saying Carolina is never out of it. Don't count them out yet. Well, there you go.
Bombs away, boys. Here it comes. Down the seam, just running to go, and no one's going to catch Jalen Miller. He's the biggest receiving threat.
And Legacy both off to the right side. And Garcia will pass. Garcia's in trouble, avoids a sack, fires deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a catch in traffic! It's a touchdown! Daniel Garcia makes an incredible play, launches it down the field to Clint Myers. And Clint Myers a little upset that Studwell's getting all the love. Over the outstretched arms of A.J. Levy, and Myers gets the touchdown.
downtown Houston from earlier today, as the hometown Houston Headhunters host the all-conquering Baltimore Vultures here from Jules Simeon Stadium. We've got a all-star stats crew in the stats truck, and it's bouncing already. It's the corn man, Zach Holdorf, and the Cuban Missile, Greg Soto. And then there's us here in the booth. You've got the Manic Minnesotan and the Crazy Canuck. I'm Tyler Fulk alongside Brett Solberg. Happy to have you with us this evening. Hey, Crazy Canuck, Brett Solberg, what you up to? What are you looking forward to with the Vultures and the Headhunters?
Yeah, this is going to be a proving point for Houston to determine whether or not they are going to be a legitimate team in my eyes this season. They're sitting at 1-3 right now. They have scored as many points as Baltimore has allowed this season, 84 apiece when you look at it from the stats perspective. If Houston wants to make this a season to remember, they have to start off by shocking the world and beating the what feels like unbeatable Baltimore Vultures tonight. This is going to be an exciting matchup.
For Houston, they look at the previous matchup history between these two clubs and are trying to give it a better effort. They have lost to Baltimore on all 4 occasions by 21 points or more. Will season 20 be anything different to go by? Kickoff just moments away. And it will be the Headhunters to kick it off here tonight to the visiting Baltimore Vultures. Sonny J tees it up. And here we go from Jules Simeon Stadium. Return here for Baltimore is Ivory Irvin, and Irvin can get it up to the 27-yard line, but no further. The Baltimore Vultures in their gold accented uniforms tonight. No red this evening, as out comes Jack Wigmore to start the opening drive.
Yeah, and right now the first drive is going to be, the starting point in determining how this game is going to go. If you want to beat Baltimore, you've got to stop them on their first drive.
Right formation behind Wigmore. Deep drop. Maybe an early tempo setter over the middle, nearly picked off. Great intuition from Dedrick Law. And it's incomplete.
Yeah, and here's the thing with Baltimore here. You're going to know what the deep targets is going to be at. Ivory Irvin and Mac Chima are those guys that are going to be your deep options, both averaging over 15 yards per catch right now and have 9 of Jack Wigmore's 11 touchdowns in the air. So be careful of those two receivers.
Deep hitter didn't work on first down, but Wigmore's back in the gun looking to potentially throw it to the air once more. Here comes the pressure over the middle. It's still bobbled up, and it hits the hands of at least 3 different defenders before falling to the turf. Holder the intended target, and Houston's defense up early to the task here on back-to-back plays.
Yeah, and it's not going to be a case of, trying to pick off or trying to force turnovers with Baltimore. They are such a great team in limiting turnovers. Only 4 out of their 4 games this season have been in total of turnovers. So you really just got to limit that pass game, which is 10th in the league at 321 per game.
Wigmore potentially to look to throw on the 3rd straight play. Blitz coming from Houston. Wigmore has to get rid of it and finds his first completion of the ball game to Matt Chima near sideline. That moves the chains, and finally a crack in the armor of Houston's defense.
Yeah, a nice little deep out route as well, and one of my favorite routes to see on a wide receiver, because that just it helps moves the chain of any down situation wherever you're at. That out route, whether it be short, medium, or long range, and this time they find Mac Chima, who's got glue-like hands to get that first down.
Backfield first carry of the ball game is a decent one, 5 yards up the middle for the tailback Warren Murray. And let's meet the rest of the Vulture offense. Of course, we mentioned Wigmore, the quarterback, and Murray is the tailback. T-Roy Gaines is the all-conquering fullback with Ivory Irvin, Daly Holder, Matt Chima, and David Anderson at wide receiver. Caesar Ackerman rounds out the receiving corps. He's over at tight end. That's your Baltimore offense. Offset single back here on 2nd and 5. Handoff left side, but great penetration from KT Slayer. It's a loss of 2 on the play.
Yeah, and the defensive line for Houston has been very heavily underrated throughout this season, despite, this 1-3 start from the Headhunters here. I look more so at Tom Tanner and KT Slayer, both guys who have, multiple tackles for loss, and those are going to be the guys that are going to pressure Wigmore as well as Murray.
Fourth TFL of the season for Slayer. Wigmore looking over the middle, somehow floats it over the top to Daly Holder, and that's another Baltimore first down.
Yeah, that one was just, there were so many options going down the middle of the field. That was basically all slants, but every wide receiver was going down to the middle of the field with your left side people going right and your right side people going left. It was hard to cover all four options there.
New wide bump coverage here from Houston. Two-step drop for Wigmore. Houston send the pressure, but it won't matter. Wigmore finds Holder again for a 9-yard connection.
Yeah, and that's just going to be a tough battle there. Daly Holder, getting a few more touches here, and that's going to be a tough case for J.W. Hartshorn, who's, still a little bit more inexperienced compared to the rest of the corners in this league. So a matchup against a guy like Daly Holder is going to be tough.
After an 0-2 start for quarterback Wigmore, he is now 3 of 3, making him 3 of 5 all told through the young day. Pass near side, caught, first down, and plenty more up to the 23-yard line as Wigmore starting to find his groove.
Yeah, and I think you could tell early in this game that Houston's defense is really focusing on preventing these deep touchdown passes, especially to Ivory Irvin, which is the guy I think we're going to focus on the most in this game. But it leaves that short route open there, as you saw. Another quick out route, just a wide open space and an easy first down for Baltimore again.
That man, Corey Menner, number 1 cornerback for Houston's defense. His job to contain Irvin. Wigmore will go in the direction over there to Ivory Irvin. He picks up 9 before being tackled by the aforementioned Corey Menner.
Yeah, and there you see it again. It's just prevention of those deep routes that could kill you for Houston here, and it's leading Baltimore into going with these short options, because you saw there was a huge bit of space between him and Corey Menner, the guy who's supposed to cover Ivory Irvin there, but it results in, an easy out route, an easy quick pass, and boom, 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1, makes it a super easy situation here for the Vulture offense.
On top of that, partner, he also shaded to the inside, which allowed the out route to run effectively. Now it's 2nd and 1, 4 tight end look with Warren Murray alone behind Wigmore. Well, Wigmore will look to Murray. There's plenty of space for him to run to. Good spin move back to the inside. Gets him down to the 3-yard line. 1st and goal, Baltimore.
Yeah, and here's what Baltimore's starting to use a little bit more instead of, just using Warren Murray on the ground is, using that swing pass option. Warren Murray hasn't really touched the football in terms of on the ground all that much this season. He's only had 275 yards of total rushing coming into this game, which is usually a lower number than usual from him, but they're starting to utilize him with that passing game as well. He's got 114 and a touchdown to his name coming into this one.
All right, set here for the Vultures. Handoff through the middle. Murray gets only a yard on the play. Great tackle from Zed Markov.
Yeah, and really they're playing into Baltimore's hands here, the Houston defense. They're really chewing up a lot of time here to start off this first quarter here, as they're getting close to the 4-minute mark with the football, and they're already at the 2-yard line here. And Baltimore loves to use that time possession battle to their proficiency.
What happens here on 2nd and goal? Another carry from Murray. Left side. Good spin move, and he's tackled at the goal line. Stopped up short by Corey Menner, and it's 3rd and goal.
And that one could be debatable there, because Murray would definitely had all the momentum as he was falling down to hit the end zone. But right now, I don't think Baltimore cares all that much. That just means another play and another reason to chew up this clock here.
Tight end set, goal line defense, but Murray will just power through untouched. Touchdown, Baltimore. They strike first in Houston.
And yeah, just a picture-perfect first drive here for Baltimore as they chew 4.5 minutes off this start of the game here and just dominate. You see 13 plays all told to get to where they are, really tiring out this Houston defense to get the first score of this game. And now the offense for Houston is going to come in probably colder than they want to be to start this game now that Baltimore has used all that clock.
Murray didn't have a single touchdown last week, but gets one here, bringing his total up to 6. Out comes Shark Tarkington to put the extra point in its place, which is golden uprights. And it's 7-0, a golden start for the Baltimore Vultures. I want to remind you that earlier that coverage of the aerial coverage was provided by Dags Droneworks, aerial photography and videography services, state marketing and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. Underway once again. Tarkington kicks this one away on the return. Here comes Greg Corky to the right side. He's got a little bit more room to run. It's a good return up to the 28-yard line before he's finally corralled. And out comes Houston Headhunter offense led by their 4th season quarterback, Dave Burr.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a disappointing start here for Dave Burr. He's got 12 interceptions so far through the first 4 games here and has less touchdowns than that, only at 8. And he's around bottom of the league in a lot of his, major statistical categories. He definitely needs to step up in this game.
Try and start their day on the ground with a good solid run. Handoff goes to GP Wells. Wells takes it for about 4 yards. Let's introduce you the rest of that Houston offense. ER Sim, Greg Corky, Mike St. Green are the wideouts with Jim Copeland Jr. at tight end alongside Dan Curtis. Dave Burr, of course, is the quarterback, with Wills at halfback. Jalen Wells is the fullback. Up on front on the line, 2 standout rookie linemen, Barry Simeon and Taylor Menner. Pass over the middle is deflected, intended for Mike St. Green.
Yeah, and this is a Houston offense that should really start utilizing the veteran wide receivers that they have. The Hall of Famer in DR Sim. He's got over 400 yards to start off this season, but it feels like a very quiet 400 yards from him. You've got Greg Corky and you've got Mike St. Green. Those are 2 guys that should explode past secondaries, and it just feels like they're a little bit underwhelming, but this should be the game to start proving that.
Back to pass, looks right side, intended for MSG again, but no dice. Once again, the defense just too strong in coverage. And that forces a punt.
Yeah, and right now Enzo Bolt is really playing that role of covering MSG really well, really staying on top of St. Green through the first 2 routes here, and it's forcing this quick 4th down here when it felt like Houston should have capitalized in a situation like this.
That's a quick end to the opening drive for the Headhunters. They quickly go 3 and out. Out comes Ron Foster to try and punt it away. The old backup goaltender for Chicago is on its way. It's a nice high spiraling punt. Irvin takes it back to the 40-yard line. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Flip back formation here for Wigmore as he's back to pass. Houston send the house and they'll get home. Wigmore did well to get rid of Butch Menner, but could not stop the slaying from KT Slayer and Tom Tanner, who eventually finished him off.
Yeah, and that's just great pursuit from this Houston defensive line. I said they're going to be the key to getting to Jack Wigmore and Warren Murray to try to stifle that offense, and that's a great start by getting basically all 4 linemen past the offensive line to get to Wigmore. Great work from the Houston defense.
Got the extra pressure that forced the mistake. It's a 7-yard loss, and now it's 2nd and long here for Baltimore. Wigmore will look to throw over the middle. It's caught. They'll get all those yards back and nearly a first down, a pickup of 16 for Daley Holder.
Yeah, what was scary from the Houston secondary is that they played bump coverage on a 2nd and 17 situation, and there was Ivory Irvin on the left of your screen, or the top of your screen was going to be open too, but decides to go with Holder, and he was just as open as Irvin was, and that was just a great call from Wigmore just to go with them a little bit more safer option for 3rd and 1.
Right near midfield. Heavy look out of Baltimore. They go up the middle.
Wow.
Crushed in half is Warren Murray. A jarring hit from a man whose name infers a different acronym, but it's Jason Peace with no peace.
Man, that came from out of nowhere as well. I thought Murray was going to get a quick and easy first down out of that. Here comes Jason Peace like a running freight train. Baltimore is going to try to maybe go for 4th and inches here.
Short yardage territory, right near midfield. Wigmore trying to get them to jump offside. They do. Blitz coming from Baltimore. It will be a free first down. They will probably take the yards from Akchima, but Houston desperately needed that stop, and they couldn't maintain composure.
Yeah, and that just seems to be just like just an ill-disciplined move here, and it's not like it's inexperienced. Tom Tanner's been in this league for 5 seasons, now into his 6th season now, and he's got to have more discipline. In this situation, midway through the first quarter, you just forced a 4th down from Baltimore, something that you potentially may not see in this game a lot. So you really need to stay disciplined. You just gave Baltimore a second chance on this drive.
Flex the tight ends and put the 2 wideouts on the line here in this single back set. They'll stretch it out left side with Murray, but great containment from Zed Markov. That'll bring down Murray after a gain of 2. And we've talked about this defense. Let's introduce them to you. Tom Tanner, KT Slayer, Butch Menor, Alex Perez on that stout defensive line. Talked about Zed Markov, Jason Peace. Haven't really talked about Garrett Evans. Those are your linebackers for Houston. Corey Menor, J.W. Hawthorne, and Kai Cash are the corners with Edric Law, Josh Rowe at safety. Bigmore near side, way wide open holder. That's a first down for Baltimore to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, it just seems to be, again, another easy pass, a little bit of a shorter, route for Daly Holder again, who, hasn't had a lot of love this season coming in, just 12 receptions, and he's already, piling up the receptions here in this first quarter, and it's moving the chains again for Baltimore. He's being left wide open, and it's been giving Wigmore, no choice than to throw to him.
Houston to put 9 men in the box to try and counter this heavy 2 backfield set. The run with Murray gets out of a tackle. Here goes Warren Murray inside the 10-yard line, having to be taken down by Law, but it's 1st and goal Baltimore, and that offsides penalty is looking more and more detrimental to Houston.
Yeah, that's just, pure power from Warren Murray. A lot that what we saw last season from Murray as he just powered through. Like you said, there was 9 in the box ready to basically go. They bring about 6 all told and have a couple forced back, but that's just a missed opportunity to wrap Warren Murray down. And again, goal line situation here for the Vultures.
If Baltimore can capitalize here in this goal line situation like they did the last time they were down, which ended in a touchdown. Murray, 5-step drop, looking left side, and that is caught by Irvin on the sideline, just out of the outstretched arms of Corey Menor.
Yeah, and that one, it was just Corey Menor maybe stepping up a little bit too far ahead, trying to get that swipe attempt, as Damon Simeon, the head coach, is going to throw the red flag there. We got some laundry. He's going to challenge this.
Now, we did see a pretty remarkable catch earlier today over in London. Vincalio with an immaculate reception, but we'll see if this one is more cut and dry than that one.
Ooh, that one's tough. I think he's out of bounds. They might have made the right call there.
Or 62, what do you say?
After review, the play stands. The pass was complete.
They will rule that it was a catch. Very 50-50, but it is a reception for Baltimore. Take a timeout off the board for you.
Yeah, there's
Baltimore on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, there's always that potential where that back foot may be counted as the foot that was down, but nonetheless, like you said, 50-50 call, and we're still here at the 1. The second time in this quarter that Baltimore is at the 1.
High formation, deep 7-step drop, and he throws a triple coverage, taken away, and then insult to injury, a late hit. What has gone on with Baltimore? Completely undisciplined, and in just a head-scratching play call. You don't often see that from Baltimore.
And that came from Ivory Irvin as well, the guy that we think is probably the most disciplined offensive player in the league, and he just has a mental gaffe. The knee was clearly down at that point, and he still goes ahead and tries to grab a late hit just to confirm the tackle, but it was way too late. And now Houston is starting at the 35 instead of the 20. This is, a great situation here for Houston.
It's an XFL touchback scenario from the 35-yard line. Handoff near side. Oh, look at him go. It's GP Wells for a pickup of 13.
Yeah, that was tough for Wells to get past, because you saw that running freight train known as the Chef, Suron Yates, coming in to try to tackle him. He just misses him by mere feet, just so close from getting tackled, but Wells has the speed to get past him and had a wide open space on that left side for a quick and easy first down. That's what Houston needs.
Well, you know what the GP stands for? It stands for Grand Prix. He's got some quick legs underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new set of downs now after the run from GP. Burr under center. Offset single back is GP. Or wide. They try and stretch it in the spread look, and Baltimore was all over that like white on rice. Great tackle from Al Walker.
Yeah, if it ain't going to be Suron Yates, who's definitely, the stat stuffer of the defense there, it's going to be one of the rest of that defensive line. Guys like Joe Duncan and Al Walker and Nate Brown, those are guys that, you fear to play against.
Or wide. Now it's Burr's turn to go into the gun. 3-man rush from Baltimore. Nice pass over the middle. That will move the chains to Baltimore's 39-yard line. And look who it is. It's Greg Corky. Picks up his first reception of the ball game. Yeah,
and with that deadly trio of Houston, Corky's been, deferred as the de facto wide receiver 3 in this studded lineup, and he hasn't had a lot of love so far this season. Just 13 receptions for $185, but he does have a pair of touchdowns that kind of helps him out this season. Great catch on that slant route, and a great job from Burr to throw it right in front of his man as well.
Wide outs, I formation here for Houston. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Handoff. Wells gets turned around and thrown down after only a pickup of 2 yards. Let's introduce you quickly to the Baltimore defense. Al Walker, Suron Yates IV, Nate Brown and Joe Duncan are the linemen, with Alvin Mack, Frank Smith, Keenan Samuels at linebacker. Elijah Warfield, Enzo Bolton, Ben Stackenpaper are the corners, with Giovanni Bolton, Troy Loshaw at safety. Line ISO up the middle, but GP bounces it out off to the right, picks up about maybe 3, maybe 4 more yards on the play. That will let the clock trickle down, and that will conclude our first quarter of play. Baltimore has the lead, and they could have been up and more, but a clutch interception in the end zone puts Houston all in striking distance. SFL on YouTube. Lots of friendly faces in chat. Thanks for joining us here at Jules Simeon Stadium. Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg on the call. Zach the Cornman, Holdorf, and Greg the Cuban Missile Soto back in the stats truck, and it's a turnover for Baltimore. Out of nowhere, it's Giovanni Bolt, and the end zone interception will not come back to bite him, and it's Baltimore's turn to try and make points off a turnover.
You have to feel from a Houston perspective, that was just a missed opportunity after Baltimore hands you a starting position to the 35-yard line, and it looked great so far, but Burr maybe forcing a pass that he probably shouldn't have. He had DR Sim further left that was a little bit more open on that pass. Instead, he goes to Corky, and that's where Giovanni Bolt comes in to grab the interception.
10 here for Baltimore after the interception. Wigmore looking over the middle, and that's taken right back. Oh my goodness! What is Wigmore seeing tonight? J.W. Hawthorne with the interception.
And how about that? We talked about how Hartshorn has a tough matchup against Daley Holder, and he proves us just wrong on how tough that is going to be as he gets an interception to start off this second quarter. Back-to-back interceptions from both teams here. Now, Houston, here's your second chance. Let's see if you can capitalize.
Hartshorn's second pick of his career/season, the rookie first rounder, with another interception for the Houston defense. Split backfield. They'll go with a run on the ground. It's this time GP's brother Jalen with the carry at the fullback spot. He will ground and pound his way for 3 yards, and it's the Man, he was just on the field with an interception picking up the tackle. It's Bolt.
Yeah, that one, it felt like there was nowhere for Jalen Wells to go as the offensive line was all over the place. It felt like different levels of the field they were at, and you couldn't really find a hole for Jalen to kind of run through.
Heavy set, one wide receiver tucked in on the line there near side of your picture. Floater left side. That's
Oh, boy.
He gets out of the tackle but goes backwards 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 9 from the 32.
Yeah, and Alvin Mack is one of those linebackers that has wide receiver or even running back speeds that he can pursue any swing pass as quickly as possible. Probably one of the reasons why he's, already in the top 30 in this league in tackles for loss. He's got 6 this season. Count that as his 7th.
Burr will stand alone in the gun with trips off to his right. Burr going to look for the line to gain. They'll be a few yards short for Mike Sangreen, who finally picks up reception number 1. He's 4 yards shy, and Houston will have to bring on the field goal unit.
Yeah, good idea from this Houston offense, but if you're going to get that first down, you needed a deep outs to St. Green instead of that medium outs, because that's how it resulted in just, that minimal gain. It's forcing the field goal unit to come in.
Jay is 3 of 4 this season. This one for about 44 yards from the right hash. Snap spot. Kick is up, and Houston is on the board. 7-3. Now your score here from H-Town. The SFL would like to recognize some staff who operate mostly behind the scenes to keep the league operational. And it's our broadcast and stats team that gets the nod today. Mike Daggs directs the broadcast team, compiles research data, collecting availability, and scheduling crews. Chris Curtis provides assistance and technical support and vets new broadcasters. Stephen Hacker directs game day operations to ensure broadcast and stat teams are functioning all week long. Check back in the future weeks to hear more about how the SFL is the most well-run simulation operation. Great moves there from Ivory Irvin on the return. Gets the Baltimore Vultures up to the 25-yard line. And how often have we seen Jack Wigmore rattled? Back-to-back passes, back-to-back interceptions part.
Yeah, and you don't see that all too often. I think the last time I saw that might have been the championship game in that wild 3rd and 4th quarter against Arizona. But it's new season here, and Houston's doing the right thing by trying to rattle Jack Wigmore here in the 2nd quarter.
That pattern over the middle, that one's bobbled up, and it is incomplete.
Wow.
Nearly picked off for the 3rd straight pass in a row.
And you had about 3 guys with hands on that football, and I think Diedrich Law, and I think Zed Markov had a touch on that as well. There's another opportunity to have Wigmore throw his 3rd interception in a row in that one. That's definitely how you stifle an offense, is if you can shake that quarterback.
Wigmore has not completed a pass since 4 attempts ago, I should say. Handoff Murray, we might see more of him, but he's corralled rather quickly. Only a 2-yard pickup. And it's Garrett Evans and company that bring him down.
Yeah, and if you're going to try to follow up trying to rattle the quarterback, you have to rattle that running back as well, because a lot of the time, if quarterback is rattled, they're going to trust their running back to try to get some extra yards. Only 2 yards out of that, forcing Baltimore's hand to throw it again.
4 wide receivers here on 3rd and 8. Wigmore, under pressure, gets out of the tackle, steps up and has to just get rid of it to Murray. Murray has to do it all by himself, but he's dragged out of bounds by Corey Menner, and Houston's defense comes through on 3 downs.
Yeah, it was the fellow Menner, Butch, who almost got the sack there. And Wigmore had great agility to avoid that sack and gave himself a little bit more time to see what his options are, but all the receivers were covered. Great job from the Houston secondary to limit Wigmore's option to the check down, and a great job from the defense to recover and tackle him behind the line.
Eddie Cuffins does the punting for Baltimore, and he sends this one on its way. Comes the return for Corky as he is dragged down by his ankles at the 35-yard line. That is where Houston will take over.
This is what Houston needs to take advantage of here. You've rattled this Baltimore offense, an offense where if they get hot, they will not stop scoring, whether it be field goals or touchdowns. They could go on a run of 6 drives and 30 points if they want to. now you've got them in a situation where you could take the lead on this drive.
Punch set off to Burr's left as he's under center. Looking left side, that is caught by Corky, and Corky picks up 7 before Giovanni Bolt takes him down.
And right now, these tertiary receivers for both teams really taking advantage of, being overlooked, as you can see from both defensive coordinators, as Daley Holder has 4 receptions. Now, Greg Corky leads the team with his 2nd reception in this game. It might be, coming down to them when it comes to the nitty-gritty.
Into the box. Baltimore sent an outside blitz, but it's an up-the-gut run from GP Wells that picks up the first down. Or check that, that's actually Jalen, a fullback at first down here.
Yeah, it's always tough to see which Wells is in the field because they have the same last name on the backs of the jerseys, and they have both pretty much identical speeds to each other, and it's so hard to identify. But Jalen just had a quick and open field to kind of go through. He wanted to power himself through, found nobody there, and he just had an easy first down.
Burr corrals the high snap, looks over the middle into triple coverage, could not fit it into the tight end, Jim Copeland Jr., incomplete.
Yeah, and that one not too bad of an option. We haven't seen any tight end game from either of the quarterbacks yet. Finally seeing some tight end love here potentially, but just not a well-placed enough pass, I think, for Dave Burr to throw it at Copeland Jr., but just run that back and you've got 2nd down.
2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass from the midfield logo. Try and stretch it with GP, and GP does well to get out of the tackle behind the line to scrounge for 2 yards. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, that's a hard man to try to, get away from Nate Brown, the other defensive tackle on that, that deadly duo. That's 303 pounds that you've got to shed off your shoulders to try to gain yards.
Empty backfield, Burr under center with 4 wide receivers. Quick drop, looking for a quick hitter over the middle. We'll find Jim Copeland Jr. for a first down, and a pick up a 12 for Baltimore 36.
Yeah, that was a much better pass thrown from Burr there. Throw it up above to only where you could get it to Jim Copeland Jr., that big 6'7" frame. He's a huge man at 270 as well. He's got some fast legs for the frame that he has, and he got a great slat route, a high enough catch where he could only get it, and a good first down there for Houston.
Now the Houston offense will try out a spread I formation. Deep drop here from Burr, stepping up, looking into double coverage, could not again fit it into the tight window, looking for Sim, but it is Frank Smith, the middle linebacker, with the deflection.
And as much as I've praised Burr on this drive here, I have to criticize him on that one. DR Sim had to change his route because he thought that he wasn't open on that far left side, but he had a wide open space on that slants on the left side. He should have thrown that earlier to Sim.
2nd down play. It's a swing pass near side for GP, spinning back into the interior, and he is launched backward in time, and he will fall down in a heap. GP is down for Houston.
Troy Loshaw, you better pay for his hospital bills after that, hammer of a hit. And we'll see it on the replay there. That is straight shoulder to shoulder action from strong safety to running back. And that could be any kind of injury. That could be, a back injury just from the landing. It could be, a broken hip, which, something that maybe Eddie Gage would have in his late stages of his career. Sorry, Eddie, I know you're not in this game, but
he is watching.
It could be anything. Yeah, he is watching, but you got to be careful with those kind of hits.
An untimely but explosive hit from Bolt, and now Baltimore trying to pile on the pressure. They take it away. An ensuing play. It's Troy Loshaw again with the hit before. This time he picks it off.
Yeah, just a affair of great luck from Troy Loshaw. Just in the sequence of plays there, and you can see the deflected pass from what looks like it's Ben Stackenpaper got the deflection, just right guy, right place, right time, scoops up the floating ball, and Baltimore takes away any opportunity from Houston to try to take that lead, and Baltimore will now have the football in pretty decent field position here.
Now, both quarterbacks with 2 blemishes on the day. Blitz over the middle, but it will not hinder the pass from Wigmore to Holder. That'll give a first down. It will be an offside call, which won't matter, and we go to the Pacific Northwest now, where Cameron Irvine has our first game break between Jacksonville and Seattle.
Thank you, Tyler. Seattle on their opening possession hits Baloo Scott for the score, and the Nemesis lead the Kings 7-0 late in the first quarter. Back to you guys in Houston.
I'll tell you what, I'm actually kind of partial to those Seattle uniforms with the black and neon green accents / numbering, partner. What about you?
I've always loved the purple and green combination myself. So Seattle's done it right there as the pass falls incomplete. Chima doesn't quite get that pass. I think Wigmore kind of underthrew that rock. But as we were saying, I think purple and green probably one of the better and underrated color combinations here in the league.
Back to Chima, tonight just has not been a Baltimore night. Seen a lot of incompletions from Wigmore, a couple of errant passes, but it hasn't hurt them yet. Handoff Murray near side, a couple of good blocks, but he's eventually taken down by Evans after a pickup of about 7.
Yeah, going back to your point there, I don't think it's just Mac Chima that is having an unorthodox day. Let's look at Ivory Irvin as well. He's been targeted 6 times in this game and only has 2 receptions through that for 16 yards. That's just very unorthodox in this first half from Irvin. So they're going to the guy who is really the only hot option in terms of wide receivers right now in Daley Holden.
Now Baltimore trots off another offset single back here on 3rd down. They went 3 and out in the last drive. Do they do it again? Handoff Murray.
Oh, good spin move.
And that'll convert the 3rd down into a first down. Finally taken down hard.
Freaking rough. Just took the jock strap right out of Garrett Evans and straight past the first down mark. You'll see there. Whoop! Right there. Going complete different directions. Get out of my way. I'm going to get myself that first down, says Warren Murray.
No update yet from the blue tent in reference to his counterpart on the other sideline, GP Wells, who went down after the hit from Losha. One might get an update here soon. Pass over the middle, however, is caught as Baltimore continue to march down the field. That's Daley Holder on the reception.
And again, another quick slants, and with Houston defending that deep ball, they're really leaving that short option wide open. You can see Hartshorn just having a difficult time right now with Daley Holder, as now he's gotten his 5th reception in this game.
Another 1st and 10 here for Baltimore's offense. Nickel look out of Houston with the 3 wide receivers set. Late delayed middle linebacker blitz, but it won't matter. Daley Holder holds that in at the 12-yard line.
Yeah, it's just the short slants that's been working for Holder. It's been working for Baltimore all throughout this first half. And if you leave that guy open, he's just going to get himself, continue to get touches. He's on pace to get over 100 yards just in this first half alone if Baltimore gets another possession.
Already a 7th reception for Holder. And off goes backwards 4 yards. Good defensive penetration up the middle. It's Alex Perez who gets into the backfield.
Yeah, and Houston's done a better job, especially in the second quarter, in just trying to limit any opportunity Murray has. He has broken open a few times, but whenever he does have that next touch, he's usually shut down behind the line.
Baltimore might try and go for the end zone here as Wigmore with a blitz coming, steps up as he throws, and it falls incomplete. Houston, we're not going to let the quarterback take that deep of a drop again and try and burn him.
Yeah, and Butch Menor again almost getting a sack on Jack Wigmore, this time catching him as he throws, and thankfully for Wigmore, he lets it go. So it's ruled incomplete and not pushing Baltimore back any further, but it's still 3rd and 14. You could practically call it 3rd and goal from the 16.
With 4 wide receivers, Wigmore to throw. Only a 3-man blitz but it's somehow caught by Holder. Hold that for a first down.
That guy was draped on 3 different defenders before that catch was made. And you'll see it closer on this replay. Look how many guys were in the vicinity. You had a diving Diedrich Law. You had Kai Cash around there, as well as it looked like Zed Markov too. That's 3 capable defenders, and they squeeze it through that tight of a hole. Wow.
It's just something we've come accustomed to with Jack Wigmore. Even when he looks down, he does plays like that, but it's picked up for the second time in the end zone. This time it isn't all Wigmore's fault. A great deflection. It's Markov with another pick.
Man, what a turn of events here in this first half. Starting, before this game, we really thought that Baltimore would really turn on the engines here, because that offense can be unstoppable at moments if they want to. But this Houston defense has stepped up in the wildest ways possible. 3 first-half interceptions against Jack Wigmore.
So out comes Houston's offense. They'll try a swing play near side for the back-up running back, Carl Law. He gets about 4 yards, and we get a somewhat blurred view of what happened to GP Wells, and I'm unfortunate to tell you, I don't know what happened to GP. Hopefully he's back.
Let's call it a slightly fractured funny bone. I don't know what's going on, and he's out for between 1 second and 1 year. Let's go with that.
He's probably still trying to get back into orbit after that hit. Burr under some pressure, but it's
oh my gosh!
Play by stacking paper! Oh my Lanta, what a pick! That turns into a pick 6! Holy Toledo!
I don't think I've ever seen that in my broadcasting career in the SFL, where a tip pass is so perfectly made by the same defensive back that catches the interception and had all the open space in the air. 2-minute warning from all that too. 13-3. Baltimore taking over. Don't go anywhere. We still got 2 minutes left in this second half here. SFL on YouTube. Oh my goodness.
Stacking paper, stacking picks, to quote our great Cameron Irvine. And Baltimore, well, they're still on top. But it seems to be, oh snap, I was going to say it seems to be all smooth sailing on defense for Baltimore. It's now 14-3.
Boy, I think I'm going to need a smoke after that. That's just, and I don't even smoke. Smoke could kill me potentially. But wow, what a crazy last 2 minutes this has been, Tyler.
We need something. I'm probably hitting a dive bar here in Houston after this is all said and done. After flying over here on a Concorde from London and that crazy spectacular. I don't know what to do. I need to lie down after this. Corky gets hammered at the 24-yard line. That is where Houston will retake over, and hopefully for Bird, he gets the interception out of his mind, and we start to see some football. 6 interceptions combined by the 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, and with a quarterback that's had, interception troubles, both these guys do, you got to have the benefit of short memory, and that's what's going to happen here for Dave Burr as he quickly gets back out on the field here.
2 wideouts as Burr splits 2 backs in the backfield. Burr will look to throw, looking near side. It's paper again with a deflection and hit, or check that Loshaw this time, but another dangerous pass trying to hit a check down.
Yeah, and I think Baltimore's starting to catch on just these short passes that Dave Burr is throwing. And maybe now that you're down 11 points in this scenario, I think it might be time to look at DR Sim deep, but they're going to go a little bit more heavy set, just 1 wide receiver and 2 tight ends, it looks like.
Less than 50% completion percentage tonight, 6 of 14. And off left side, GP. He might have to do a lot more of the workload as he gets up to the 41-yard line. And that's the right start. And I apologize again, not GP, still injured. It's Carl Law.
Yeah, they gave plenty of space for Law to run down the field. And when you have an opportunity like this, you don't want to miss it. And Law gets himself a great run to set him up in decent position here.
Stretch play, that play just hasn't worked at all tonight. It loses 2 yards, and hopefully they got something other than that, because we've only seen them call that. So it takes a little bit for Frank Smith to get turned around and back to his own side of the field. He'll be sent on a blitz along with a few others, and Burr is turned inside out by the hit from Al Walker. That'll lose a few more.
Yeah, and here's what's interesting out of this is, again, DR Sim, wide open bump coverage. It was what Baltimore is playing, and Sim just blew by his defender, and that should have been just a quick look and pass his way, but Burr looked like he was looking towards Greg Corky on the pass, didn't see him open, and that's what caused the sack there. Dave Burr maybe needs to be starting to look the other way. You know, Sim has only had 1 target in this first half.
3rd and long, might want to try him. Here on this next play, Burr pumps once under pressure. The quick hitter doesn't work, and he goes down again for the 2nd straight play, and it's the chef, Suron Yates, the 4th. With
And
the 2nd straight sack.
You have to think in this scenario, why would Houston go with a quick hit set that could only get you maybe at most 12 yards in a scenario where you need to get 17 to get a first down? That's where you got to go with the deep routes option. Forget anything of, you know, interception rates at this point. Just throw it deep and see if you can get one of your elite receivers to catch it.
Ron Foster is going to let the clock drain as much as they can to try and give Baltimore not a whole lot of time to work with. And if you're Baltimore, a few of them calling out here in chat wondering why there wasn't a timeout call, but Ivory Irvin is mauled and brought down at the 37-yard line. Now Baltimore, still with all 3 of their timeouts, has a shot to get down the field again.
Yeah, it's really decision time here for Baltimore. Do they want to extend this lead and really make Houston pay for giving them 1 more possession out of this? Or are they just going to let that 15 seconds run and see what more Warren Murray can give you? They've got 3 receivers ready, though.
One of those receivers is the flex tight end off the right-hand side, but they'll go with a run. Warren Murray breaks off a tackle, has a few more blocks downfield.
Oh,
there
you're
goes
kidding.
Warren Murray down the sideline, inside the 35, down to the 31, and that puts them in field goal range.
Yeah, and Baltimore calling a quick timeout, now seeing themselves pretty close to the 30-yard line at that point. Now, with 7 seconds left, you really got a shot in scoring some points here. They could just, you know, settle and give Shark Tarkington a little bit of love here with a 48-yarder, but I think, yeah, they're going to give Tarkington a try here.
So that 32-yard run from Murray sets up a 48-yard attempt from the left hash for Tarkington. Tarkington, who's 8 of 9 this season. The kick is up, and it is good for Baltimore. 2 seconds to go in the half. Baltimore lead by 14. It's 17-3.
And man, that's just a great run from Warren Murray. Just 1 play to get Baltimore in Tarkington range. And Shark Tarkington, probably one of the most automatic field goal kickers in this league's history, as he nails another deep one, a 48-yarder, and extends this lead to 2 full touchdowns.
He has the most field goals made by any kicker in the league now, with his 274th make in his career. Here comes Corky on the return. This will be the final play of the half. Corky only able to get to the 24-yard line. Luckily for him and the Houston Headhunters, they get the ball back to start the half. But it's been all Baltimore late after a stack and paper tip, pick, picks. Baltimore leads 17-3. And partner, Houston's defense has kept this game close. One of the offense now dealing with a painful injury to G.P. Wells. They look to be on the back foot. They need a miracle versus Baltimore.
Yes, but they can't use that injury as a crutch to why this team is down 17-3 at this point. You've just got one way to look at this. Just their offense has been, quite frankly, anemic in this first half. 2.8 average yards per play, total 85 yards in the first half. Most teams in this SFL have 85 yards in a quarter. So basically they're playing at half of what they're capable of playing right now. And there's been so many moments where this Houston defense has been, trying to give the offense opportunities, forcing Jack Wigmore to throw 3 interceptions in the first half and giving Dave Burr all these opportunities, but he's 6 of 14 for only 47 yards. And the big thing, a couple people saw it in chat here, a dismal QBR of 12.2. This offense needs to turn it around and play like their defense has, which has been spectacular in this first half.
All right, partner. Wigmore closing in on 200 yards of total passing yardage tonight. The total yardage for Houston under 100 combined. That is certainly needing to be changed, and the mistakes for the Houston offense definitely another thing that will help them out a little bit. But one player to look for from each team as we come out of the tunnel for the second half.
Well, right now for Houston, they got to target DR Sim more. He's only had 1 target in this first half out of 14 pass attempts, and he is supposed to be your Hall of Fame #1 receiver. That's the guy that just looking at that Ben Stack and Paper interception, catching me off guard again with that. But DR Sim needs to get heavily more involved in terms of, just this entirety of Houston's offense. And the player to look for Baltimore, honestly, I'd be looking at that defensive side. I'd be looking at a guy like Alvin Mack, who's been heavily involved in this first half. He's got 4 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a pass deflection. If he continues playing that way, he's very much a leader of this Baltimore defense. So if he continues going this way, it's going to spell doom for the Houston offense.
As we welcome you back to Jules Simeon Stadium here in Houston, Texas, I'm Tyler Falk, alongside Brett Solberg, and in the Stats truck, it's Zach Boldorf and Greg Soto, keeping us updated on everything stat-wise, making us sound much better than we actually are. And of course, a special thanks to our commissioner and producer, Cameron Irvine, bringing you all the live feeds and keeping everything looking impeccable. Baltimore tees it up, ready to send it over to Houston to begin the second half as we're underway here in the third quarter. Here comes Corky on the return just outside his own end zone, trying to force his way through the middle, and that rarely works for a return man, and he gets only to the 20-yard line. And out comes the Houston offense, looking for a spark, looking for change, looking for someone to make a play.
Yeah, and it's got to come from, someone big. Like I said, DR Sim at the halftime report definitely needs to step up and get some more targets out of that. Mike St. Green hasn't had that many touches either. He's only had 1 reception of his own that went for 5 yards.
Here's GP Wells, who still remains in the stratosphere. MSG, what was that? How often did we see? It's a line we're repeating ourselves tonight. How often do we see an MSG drop?
Yeah, and how often have we seen 1 reception on 6 targets from MSG as well? This has just been so, I guess, weird would be the word to say of how this offense have been in this first half, for sure.
Is there a farmer's moon? Is there a ladder we walked under? What happened in this football game? Pass near side, caught. That's good enough for about 4 yards to Dan Curtis, first reception of the ball game for the second string tight end. 3rd and 6.
Yeah, and they've got to get all their receivers more involved. Jim Copeland Jr. only had 1 reception in this one, and now Dan Curtis gets himself his first reception of the game here. It just feels like any pass opportunities have either been dropped or tipped away.
Burr looking to throw. Baltimore send 5. Burr has to look over the middle, and it's tipped and intercepted going back the other way. This is another good return on the interception. It's Marvin Himes who comes away with the pick.
Now, I understand what Dave Burr is trying to do here, and it's very much just trying to, spark this offense a little bit, but you had 2 defenders in the vicinity of Mike St. Green, including Marvin Himes, who was coming in on that chase down of that interception. It's exactly what happened. It just feels like these Baltimore secondary players have just been on point in covering all the key receivers.
Wigmore in plus territory to start the drive. He looks to the left-hand side. That is caught inside the 20, down to the 15. Ivory Irvin hauls that one in.
Yeah, and you can see kind of the stark differences on just the wide receivers here as Holder's got his 8 receptions in this first half. And then you've got Mac Chima and Ivory Irvin. Although they haven't had, big yardage gains, except for maybe 12, 13, 14 yards, they've been a key part in Baltimore's success offensively.
High formation here for Baltimore. Wigmore under duress gets it off. Pass is caught for a gain of 5. That one will find Caesar Ackerman.
Yeah, now Baltimore is probably thinking to themselves, let's try to chew even more clock down. You've got a comfortable 2-score lead right now, and let's try to spread the love a little bit more. That's Ackerman's first reception of this game. Let's see if they can get maybe their fourth receiver, David Anderson, some love if he ever gets out on the field.
Another I formation. Another deep drop here from Wigmore. Looking left side. That one's taken away. Going back the other way. This might be the spark Houston needed. It's Ed Markov at the midfield stripe. Houston's defense has played phenomenally tonight. The 4th pick of Jack Wigmore.
You want to talk about how weird this game has been? We always talk about the stone hands of linebackers. We talk about, the Jeff Gagnes, the E.K. Vincents, the guys who can't catch interceptions to save their lives. Well, Zed Markov's got 2. He's showing all the linebackers in this league how it's done, and he runs and runs and runs it to midfield. Just great speed after the interception, too.
Markov had 1 interception on the season, and in his career, he now, almost triples his tally. And here comes the backup tailback for Houston, Carl Law. He picks up about 2. Alvin Mack with the tackle, and of course, nowhere to be seen is G.P. Wells still injured.
And I'm feeling that might be a game-long injury there for Wells. And it's going to have to start relying on Jalen to get a little bit more involved here. As much as Law has done pretty decent so far, you got to trust on your star running backs.
We're going to look near side. There's DR Sim. How about it? DR Sim with a pickup of 7.
Not too bad. Not a bad start for DR Sim there, but he's known as your deep threat. I'd be using him on that, that trusted 15-yard corner route to the sideline kind of throw. But not a bad way to at least get him a little bit involved here as Houston goes heavy set on 3rd and 3.
We'll try a run with Jalen Wells, who gets folded in half just a yard before the line to gain, and it's decision time now for Houston.
I don't think this is going to be a tough decision for them. They're just going to punt this football away. That's just it felt like it was the right play to call on 3rd and 3, and you had the open space, but Baltimore just applied enough pressure to prevent Jalen to get that first down line marker.
Houston cannot capitalize off of their 4th turnover of the ball game, and it'll now be Rod Foster to try and pin them back. A great punt. It falls and dies at the 1, and it's down at the goal line. An excellent punt from Ron Foster.
Yeah, it's pretty much a picture-perfect punt. If anybody wants to, try to emulate anything of a great punt, you look at this one here. And now Baltimore has a full 100 yards to get to the end zone now. Let's see what the Vultures can do. All their players in the end zone right now.
I'm quite scared for this play. They've only shown a pass out of this formation. It's gone behind the line. It'll be a pass from Wigmore. Oh! Wigmore goes down. It's a safety for Houston.
And you have to think, this has to be the breath of life that Houston needs so badly in this game, as this offense has just been very, very suspect throughout this game. And KT Slayer, welcome to the safety club as he forces the sack and forces Baltimore to punt this football away here to give Houston some decent field position.
Regardless of what happens here tonight, Houston's defense can be proud of themselves for everything they have done tonight versus Baltimore. Their offense just hasn't been as precise, as potent, as prolific as that defense. And some blame could be because of the backup tailback due to the injury to G.P. Wells, but something has to give. Something has to give Houston, just a little bit more impetus. Their defense and special teams playing phenomenally tonight. Two-step drop from Burr. Pass near side, caught by Curtis, who spins around rather slowly, but picks up 6.
Yeah, that was a good spin as well, because I think he was going to get tackled if he continued going down the sideline. He instead changes direction down the middle of the field, and he got himself a couple extra yards there. So instead of 3, he doubles it and gets 6. Sets up a decent second and medium situation here for the Headhunters.
Now Houston comes to the line with 4 wideouts. Bump coverage here from the Baltimore defense. 6-man rush. Floater right side. That is caught by Corky inside the 30-yard line. And now the offense comes to life.
There's the deep pass that you want to throw, Dave Burr. Just when your receivers start to get open, you throw that ball ahead of your receiver. Just perfectly done as he beats Troy Loshaw on that middle side as he slants out just a little bit on that corner and gets himself open just enough. Great throw, great catch, great decision.
Now you're on first down. Houston trots out in I formation. A look to throw right side. That is Carl Law, the tailback, who gets blown up before he can even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just like trying to set the momentum here on that first down to see what you can set up for second was really the plan on that pass there, and it really got nowhere. So it's basically almost the equivalent of an incompletion on that. So run that back, second down. And I like this formation here. 3 receivers. And you've got 2 behind, maybe for protection.
We're going to have to pump once, stepping up over the middle. He throws it away. The 5th interception. This time Elijah Warfield gets it on the act, and they turn an excellent opportunity away again.
And there's the 5th interception from the 5th different Baltimore defender. Elijah Warfield enters the fray. And if there's only one more interception in this game, Baltimore hopes it comes from Enzo Bolt, because that'll mean all defensive stars for Baltimore will have had an interception in this game.
So after the interception, here comes Murray on the ground, but he is met behind the line. He gets well enough forward for about 2 yards, and that's it. Sunday night, the focus of the SFL slate shifts west, where once again, the Las Vegas Fury and the Arizona Scorpions are in a battle at the top of the West Division standings. Can the Fury stop Arizona's unbeaten run? Kickoff is at 9:15 p.m. Eastern, with action around the league beginning in Detroit at 6:30. SFL action tomorrow night only on SFL YouTube. That's a pretty pass from Wigmore. That finds the first down, and that is Matt Chima.
Yeah, and I really thought that one of the corners there on Houston maybe gotten an interception. It looked like Dedrick Law had me fooled for at least a second, but again, throwing it in such a tight window, finding his receiver is Jack Wigmore once again, and they're going pass happy again. Look at the receiver set here.
4 wide, trips off to Wigmore's left. Wigmore over the middle. That'll find the tight end Ackerman for a pickup of 8. And I think they were lucky they were in man coverage, Mark.
Yeah, very lucky there, because in man coverage on an all slants is one receiver out of that 4 or 5 that's going to get open. This time it was the tight end. Quick 8-yard gain, sets up a second and short. And again, this looks like a pass happy second down play here.
Press coverage from the DBs. On second down, Wigmore to throw, under pressure, down he goes! KT Slayer, another tackle behind the line.
And here's an interesting stat coming into this game. Jack Wigmore has only been sacked 5 times in the first 4 games for Baltimore. Houston has gotten to him 3 times, and it's KT Slayer again. Or there's 3 times, sorry, for Jack Wigmore being driven to the ground. Twice are under KT Slayer's name.
5 wide, deep shot, left
there
side,
it is.
nearly picked up by Menor. And the defense again comes through in the clutch.
And that is the traditional throw it to Ivory Irvin on that 15-yard corner route, and they played it perfectly. Just a great job from Corey Menor to stay with his guy and just get at least a deflection on that pass. That's always been a tough pass to defend, no matter what, and they did well on that.
Matty Coffins set to punt this one away behind his own 25-yard line. Punt is safe. Forky on the return, got a couple of blocks toward the near side, cuts it back inside, and is finally wrapped up at the 34-yard line. And I agree, from T-Roy Gaines over in chat, it was a weird camera angle, almost insinuating that Baltimore's going to try some funny business, but they punted it away, and it's a little play all the less.
And again, Houston with another opportunity to try to get back in this game, but this offense needs to start responding here. And Dave Burr, he's had a rough game so far. He's just got to make smarter passes.
Tight end look. Houston to swing it out near side for... I'm used to saying his name because he's the only halfback out there at the moment, Carl Law.
And at least he got 4 yards out of that one. Good momentum setter. Opens up the playbook a little bit here on second down. And Houston really needs to find something that'll click on this offense. And I think they have no choice but to be pass happy to try to, defend Baltimore despite the 5 interceptions from Burr here.
Be wide. Burr, floater over the middle, nearly taken away for the 6th time by Giovanni Bolt. Our Sim, the intended target.
And again, it's just not great decision-making here from Dave Burr as that pass was thrown in the air, and once that ball was starting to fall, 3 defenders around DR Sim again down the middle of the field. You just got to make better decisions when throwing that football.
If you are just joining us, Troy Loshaw launched GP Wells into orbit. We haven't seen him since the first half. That is why Carl Law is in returning.
Again.
And there's pick number 6. Giovanni Bolt comes away with it after the tip deflection. There was like 6 defenders in the area, an ill-advised throw, 6 interception on the ball game for Dave Burr.
And again, it's 3 defenders in a 2-yard vicinity of the receiver. This time it was Mike St. Green down the middle. Baltimore has always been a team that defends that deep middle of the field like no one better. I don't know why teams haven't, discovered, maybe going sideline might work, but they went middle again. And again, pick number 6.
Pass near side. There's Warren Murray with time and space up the sideline. Rarely we see that tonight. That pass is good for about 11, maybe 12 yards on the pick.
Yeah, and, I like Baltimore's game here so far offensively because despite Jack Wigmore's woes himself with his 4 interceptions, there has been, some sharing of the wealth here. You've got 5 receivers with 2 receptions or more now in this game, with Caesar Ackerman being the lone guy at 2. So Baltimore's done well in spreading the wealth.
Wideouts right for Wigmore. Houston send 4. Pass near side is caught by Chima. That picks up 5 as he trots his way out of bounds.
Yeah, and I think right now Baltimore's just trying to slow things down because everything is just becoming fast-paced, back and forth. These defenses have just been, on otherworldly levels in this game here. And for Baltimore's offense, at least maybe calming things down and maybe slowing it down will just help them offensively here.
Offset eye behind Wigmore. They'll go to Murray on the ground, left side. Murray brought down from behind by Markov, though he picks up a good chunk of yards. 3rd and short.
Yeah, it's a good 3rd and short here because Baltimore's done, pretty decent on these 3rd down conversions here. They're 5 of 8 so far in this game in 3rd down efficiency. So they've been pretty good in terms of, trying to convert these 3rd downs. And it starts with, these short yardage situations.
Murray gets a couple of nice blocks inside the 20 down to the 12-yard line. He was flexed out in the direction of the 2 tight ends, and those 2 tight ends helped set the edge.
Yeah, it's just wide open space and just great blocking from the wide receiver set as well. Ivy Irvin is usually the guy on that left side, and he just had a picture-perfect block as Murray was continuing to go outside, and the Warhorse does it again. Another big 1st down.
Offset eye, this time to the near side of the formation. They will run that way, but Red, tackled behind the line for a loss of 2 by Garrett Evans.
Yeah, and Houston's defense just needs to respond as they have throughout this game and just trying to stifle as best as they can Warren Murray and Jack Wigmore. And they did a good job here to start things off on a 2-yard loss.
Up coverage here on 2nd and long, under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Murray trying to find space on the left-hand side and cannot. Face in peace with a tackle for loss. 2 back-to-back backward plays for Baltimore.
Yeah, and it's just a great job from Houston's defense to push back in situations where their back is against the wall. And now it's 3rd and 15. Again, I stress this. It's practically 3rd and goal at the 18. So they got to make it 18 yards to get to the end zone.
3 nickel from Houston on 3rd and long. Quick drop, pressure coming. Wigmore over the middle, nearly taken away by J.W. Hawthorne, looking for pick number 2 on the night. And that'll set Baltimore out of downs and out of plays. And they'll have one more shot at points by the way of a field goal.
Yeah, and they're going to go with, the most trusted kicker in the SFL, Shark Tarkington. And any range is Tarkington range here. And this one feels like practically a chip shot despite it being from 34.5.
From the left hash. For his 10th make of the season, kick is up. It is good from 34. Officially 20-5. Get your scoregami scorecards out now. Baltimore out on top.
Yeah, it's a very weird scoreline, but, here we are. It's because of 2 great defenses, really playing a part. And despite Baltimore having 20 points in this game, Houston's defense has really stepped up in this game. It's just been the offense that just hasn't.
18 seconds to go here for the 3rd quarter here from Houston. Kick is on its way from Tarkington. On the return is Corky looking for the other side. Spins out of a tackle. Still going backwards, and he's going to be wrapped up near the 15-yard line, but we'll give him forward progress. The 22 as we go back to Seattle for the first time in quite a while. Cam, is there not a whole lot of action, or what just happened?
Thanks, Tyler. You're not the only one in a defensive slugfest tonight. Less turnovers in Seattle, but more great defense. This time, though, O.J. Bruin connects with Kingston Ellington. That gets Jacksonville a field goal on the board at the end of it. 7-3 in the 3rd. Nemesis on top.
And Cam, some pretty weird games in the late block here on Saturday. Law with the pass near side. Oh, he goes backward 4 yards on the screen pass. And that'll bring us an end to the 3rd quarter. Let's pause now for station identification. You're watching the Simulation Football League on YouTube, presented by 8PM.
Station of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Final frame of regulation. Here from Houston, Texas, Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg on the call alongside Greg's the Cuban Missile Soto and Zach Cornman Holdworth and the Stats Truck. Thanks for joining us late this Saturday evening here for Week 6 of the SFL. And goes to Jalen Wells, the fullback. Picks up a bunch of yards, about 8 on the play.
Yeah, and despite how much we've talked about Houston's woes on offense, there's still a legitimate shot in this game. It's still 2 full scores plus a 2-point conversion that Houston's down. So if they can turn things around, they've got a shot here.
Try and go deep over the middle, and that's Mike St. Green with the reception. That's a rare time tonight at the post route over the middle has worked.
And yeah, it's a very rare occasion that middle route has really worked, and you saw it there. It was just a difference of where that ball was placed by Burr. You can see it was just in front of St. Green instead of trying to throw it over him, so he would force to try to jump and try to catch it, and that's resulted in a catch and Houston getting to midfield.
Only the second grab of the day for Mike St. Green. Wow. 1st and 10, Houston after the MSG catch. Heavy set. They go with a run. Back for Jalen. Out of a tackle. Forcing defenders off of him. And he picks up another gain of 8 yards.
You know, and that might be something that they need to start doing here in this fourth quarter, is use that play specifically to get Jalen involved. As much as Law, the backup halfback, has done pretty decent in trying to fill GP's hole, you got to trust in your star running backs, and Jalen did a good run for 8 yards.
Might they go with another fullback dive? No, they'll try and pass out of it. Left side, there's Law with the reception, and that's a first down for Houston.
Yeah, and that's what they need to continue moving forward. Use these first downs to continue to, build the momentum. They don't have to go with, the big money touchdown plays. Sometimes just getting first downs will help just even confidence in your quarterback, which is so desperately needed in this fourth quarter.
Here they come with another heavy set. This time, Baltimore trying to stuff the run. They throw 8 men into the box. There's Jalen through the middle, dragging defenders with him all the way to the 34-yard line, a pickup of 6.
Yeah, and it seems like that run play is just working right now. Just keep feeding that ball to Jalen Wells on first down and get yourself a good scenario for second down. Look at this, 2nd and 4. Open up that playbook.
Now it's 3 wide here for Houston. Stretch play near side, and he fumbled the football. Baltimore fall on it. The 7th turnover of the ball game. That stretch play out of the spread hasn't worked all night, and just when it looked like it did, they jump on the football.
That's the man I keyed on in the second half, Alvin Mack. Now he's got himself a fumble recovery to his name after Ben Stackenpaper once again getting involved. This time it looked like he forced the fumble from Law. And again, the turnover woes continue here for Houston and give Baltimore's opportunities to seal this game up.
First and 10 now for Baltimore after the fumble. Murray gets the call near side, and he'll pick up 7 yards to his own 44-yard line. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmusic.com as the T-Roy Gaines train gets rolling finally here in the fourth quarter as he picks up a big scamper up the middle.
And why not get your fullback involved, your elite fullback and T-Roy Gaines he had, again, another open hole here, and it seems like, again, just whoever has that football on that backfield side, it's been working for Baltimore. And T-Roy gets another first down and gets Baltimore into enemy territory.
On the defense, crowd the line of scrimmage. Try and run it again with Murray. Murray out of another tackle, going backward behind the line. Even, but the forward progress gets him 4.
Yeah, and I think that's a very favorable call from the ref there. I think they should have just called, the backwards momentum that Murray had on that, but nonetheless, blessing for Baltimore, 2nd and 6.
I'll tell you what, partner, this game just feels like we go further and further down the rabbit hole with each passing play. Wigmore to throw, sidearm pass over the middle. There's Chima with the reception. That'll put Baltimore in excellent territory at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, and the man of the second half, especially for Jack Wigmore, has been Mac Chima. Not a lot of touches for Daley Holder or Ivory Irvin, but Chima is getting himself open here, and it's resulted in him getting some good catches and good yards here for Baltimore in a scenario where they want to really shed some clock. Now they're in field goal range, close to the red zone. They could really make Houston pay if they score on this.
Wigmore to throw near side. That is caught by Chima, and Chima is clattered after picking up 9 yards to the 15-yard line. It's taken down by Menor, and the offense continues to roll, but how much longer? We've seen so many red zone interceptions from this Houston defense tonight.
Yeah, and it really depends on what Baltimore's going to throw Houston's way. If they're going to continue passing this rock so close to the end zone, really, Baltimore needs to rethink it coming next week.
More near side. It's another pass to Chima on the same play. It sets him up with 1st and goal.
And yeah, that was a smart pass from Jack Wigmore. Instead of trying to go for Pater, which has happened on his 2 red zone interceptions as in this game here, instead of going straight for Pater, he decides to go the short route and just yards after the catch, those yak yards, so important when he comes to just goal line opportunities. Now they get themselves 3 chances to run 3 yards to the end zone.
2 DBs, and they're completely backed off the 2 wide receivers on the top of the screen. We'll see if Wigmore finds one of them. They'll try and find Murray. Murray alone up the sideline. Touchdown, Baltimore. And it's another late hit penalty, this time on Houston.
And that one won't pay as much as the one against Baltimore in that first quarter. Kai Cash just a little bit too late on that hit after the touchdown, but great job from Warren Murray to see where he was on the sidelines and basically maintain himself in bounds to score that. And now this touchdown probably feels like the final nail in the coffin, despite there being around 6 minutes left in this game. It's a very tough lead to overcome here for the Headhunters.
So out comes Tarkington, try and tack home the extra point. This to make it a 22-point ball game, which he does. And now we're sitting in similar territory as Baltimore looks to put win number 5 over Houston by 20 points or more.
Looking for win number 5 of the season as well to maintain pace with the rest of the undefeated field here. That includes Arizona and I want to say Atlanta as well. I'm already forgetting my teams here. Am I correct?
Something like that. Atlanta over in that East Division. Atlanta, Louisiana, Florida, and Jacksonville. All teams correctly from the division I support. Run up the middle from Corky gets the 24-yard line, and a stat provided us direct from SFL headquarters in the 2 games tonight, the one here in Houston and one over in Seattle. 35 points combined and 18 turnovers. 18 turnovers.
This makes you scratch your head as an offensive fan of the league, seeing 18 turnovers between 4 teams.
London and Port, or not, we'll give 1 second. Tip ball looking for Mike St. Green. And that's incomplete. Another target to St. Green that goes awry. But I think London and Denver took all the points and all the good football earlier today.
Yeah, because there was a combined 90 points scored between the 2 teams, and
exactly 90.
Yeah, it was exactly 90 points between the 2 teams here, and now we're suffering at the end of it. Seeing a couple of these teams just not really showing up offensively. We saw Los Angeles really stifled on offense against Tulsa, and ultimately not prevailing, going to 0-5. And then you saw Charleston's offense kind of stifled down the second half as well, only scoring 19 themselves.
Burr looking for the screen pass out to the left-hand side. That is hauled in by Carl Law for a gain of 4, knocked out of bounds at his own 28-yard line. And there you see the disparaging numbers. 7 turnovers for Houston. They are under half the amount of yards on offense. Nothing, or almost nothing, has gone the way of the Houston offense tonight.
And the biggest thing there, you can see a stark contrast in first downs too. Only 9 from Houston.
They're under pressure. Find DR Sim, left side. DR Sim finally making his presence felt here in the fourth quarter. It's a huge gain to the 21.
And there you finally get that classic DR Sim route. It goes, just the in and out route that gets himself a nice opening on the sidelines. And my Lord, we've been waiting for that all game. And still with 5 minutes left to go, maybe it's a sign of things to come here for Houston to finally get a touchdown in this game.
51-yard pitch and catch from Burr to Sim. They're on the outskirts of the red zone for one of the first times tonight. Pass over the middle. They're right inside the red zone. They go first and goal now after the 10-yard pickup to Dan Curtis. Back to the line they go in a hurry. Burr looks near side to MSG. Everything's better with MSG. It's a touchdown for the Houston Headhunters.
Yeah, you're talking about, Chinese food. You're talking about any kind of non-perishable kind of food. And, of course, any touchdown is great with a little MSG sprinkled in. And Houston probably breathing a sigh of relief as they finally get themselves in the end zone to score 6 in this game. Houston, a little bit of life given to them as well, but they're still down 16 or 15 pending the extra point.
So 27-11. What I wouldn't give for a blocked field goal right now as a scoregami man. But my woes and Houston's woes will go out the window as the extra point is up and good. 27-12, your score line. 15-point difference separates Baltimore and Houston as Houston going to try an onside kick with 4:44 left to go.
Got it.
Cam in the booth, and anyone down here in San Antonio might get the reference of 4. Just remember 4. Bobble is still bobble. Oh! Houston recover. What more shenanigans will we get tonight? I don't believe it.
Now that is a breath of life there for Houston. A bobbling from a couple of the special teams players from Baltimore, leading to Houston getting an opportunity to close the gap. Now it's Houston's time to see if they can, use this blessing and get themselves another score.
Hills, Wyatt Fulton hauls in the loose ball for Houston, and now they're back on offense. DR Sim gets another catch. That's 9.5 yards and out of bounds to stop the clock.
And there's the guy you want to start relying on in situations like this. You're down a couple scores, you go with the Hall of Famer. Who has more yards receiving? Who has more receiving touchdowns than this guy? I can easily answer for that for you. Nobody. Yeah, so get the ball to him.
Oh, it'll be kind of tough. He's kind of tucked in tight on the line. He's going to have to get to the outside if he wants any shot of a pass being thrown to him in this formation. Instead, Burr will just dump it off over the middle to Curtis, who picks up the first down, and they go into the hurry up out of this formation. This might take a while.
No, I would have spiked the ball in this situation, but yeah, this could take a while. They got to get themselves a decent route opening up here.
Nice spinning catch by Jim Copeland Jr., who picks up a chunk of 7 yards, so maybe all is not lost from this formation.
Yeah, they got 7 yards out of that, but again, I still don't like this formation on a hurry up here.
Wide open man, top of your screen,
and that's why
they're not even going to look that way. Bird goes down in a heap after a Joe Duncan sack. That moves him back about 5 yards. Another quick hitter to the tight end who goes out of bounds after the gain of 2, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, and I'm not even thinking about punting this football. You go for it on 4th down, despite your 3rd down woes. We even talked about conversions a lot in this game. Baltimore has been decent, 6 of 10, and you want to talk about Houston's offensive woes, you can really look at that on the 3rd down efficiencies. 3 of 13 now.
So this is a much more promising formation for Houston on 4th down. 4 wide receivers, Burr in the gun. He's going to look to pass over the middle, trying to find Corky. But alas, it falls incomplete. Turnover on downs.
Quick turnover on downs there, and it was just, I don't know, maybe not a well-placed pass. Maybe Enzo Bolt got a little bit involved in it. I don't think he really did. I think it was more so Corky just missing that pass. It hit him right above the kneecap. So maybe too low of a pass from Burr. Maybe Corky wasn't ready for it, but it still results in the same thing as Baltimore gets the football back, and we should expect a lot of love from Warren Murray.
And not just Murray, but maybe a little bit of a train from T-Roy. It's Murray who gets the first call. That's a minimal game of about 2. Probably stopped by Butch Menner, and the clock will begin to roll. And I want to remind you to don't leave the stream without joining our Discord server. There's so much more to do in the SFL than just being a player. Join to check out content for teams and about the league created by the community. Participate in pick'em games, play SFL fantasy football, and test your skills in the survivor pool. To join our server, visit simulationfl.net and click the Discord icon on the top banner. The SFL's community, 2,000 strong. We'll see you there. Handoff up the gut again. Only a pickup of about a yard to Warren Murray. And it'll bring up 3rd and 7.
And just Houston needs to continue just stopping that football, see if they can get themselves just one more opportunity to get a score, because really that's all you need to get that the dominoes falling your way and push them out. There probably maybe a pass on this 3rd down, so I would try to cover your receivers as best as possible. I don't know if bump coverage is it though.
3rd and 7. Here for Baltimore on their own 41-yard line. They go with a run. Great penetration from the defense, and they will get to Murray only after a gain of 2, which will not only drain the clock to 2 minutes, but give Houston, that proverbial elusive 4th timeout.
Yeah, and that's big there for Houston, because any chance you can get to just stop the clock as this ticks even closer to the 2-minute warning. We're not going to see this punt go off here. But it's going to give Houston another chance. That's the big thing.
2 minutes to go. We've seen plenty of crazy shenanigans here tonight. Will we see any more? A 15-point margin between Baltimore and Houston. We come back. Final 2 minutes of regulation. Baltimore 27. Houston 12. 2 minutes to go. What will happen here? Hunt is away safely from Matty Coffins, and now Greg Corky has to make a return. Tries to shinny his way out of a tackle, cannot, taking it the 21-yard line. And Houston, all they need now is touchdowns. They need touchdowns. They don't need anything else than that.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. It's just trying to focus on, I wouldn't say like deep pay dirt plays, but get yourself some deeper plays. Get, 10, 12, 13-yard plays each. It's not about trying to be pretty and get those diming actions. You want to get yourself the big plays to get first downs.
A step drop, pass over the middle. Turnover number 8 for Houston. That's all that needs to be said. It's another pick by Bolt.
Yeah, that's a hat trick for Giovanni there, as lightning strikes for a 3rd time, and in this case, a 7th time for Dave Byrne. That probably is the absolute final nail in the coffin. Baltimore will go to improve themselves to 5-0, and Houston, never thought I'd say this, but 4th loss after week 6 is crazy.
Oh, in better news for Houston, unless Baltimore can come away with a score, as the defense stops Murray on this run, it'll be the first time in franchise history they have held Baltimore to a score line that does not result in a margin of victory of 20 points or more. So that's a positive, especially for that defense, which, partner, they played their hearts out tonight. They gave their team in this city every opportunity to come and win this football game. It just wasn't the case tonight.
Yeah, it's just so tough when you have a defense that plays so spectacularly, forces Jack Wigmore to 4 interceptions, holds Warren Murray for a bunch of the game, despite him probably finishing with around 115 yards of rushing, and so many people involved, sacking Wigmore 3 times in this game and getting 7 tackles for losses. Just huge performances from this defense, but the offense just did not show up tonight.
3rd and 10, I'd be shocked if they pass it even. Well, they are going to pass it. Wigmore hit as he throws. That stops the clock with 1:38 to go, and Houston still has a timeout.
And not too bad there for Houston. Probably a little bit of a blessing. I know that Baltimore at least wanted to get that first down, but I think you're right. It's very interesting that they went pass on 3rd down with everything going on. Could have went with really anything else, but now you're giving Houston the football back here.
Oh, Matty Coffins comes out once more to punt this one away. No pressure from Houston. They will try and let fate decide where this ball drops, and it's an excellent punt from Coffins. It's a Coffin corner punt to the 8-yard line in Houston. 1 minute 28. Well, we've talked about them throwing up a prayer, talked about them getting a miracle. Well, it's time to put up or shut up now.
Yeah, it's 92 yards to the end zone. You're going to have to pull a rabbit out of a hat here, Houston. And really, Dave Burr's got to pull something out because it's been one of those nights to forget for him.
Wide receivers 1st and 10. Burr going to look to throw over the middle, and it's...
I'm
not even going to say it anymore. Bolt, pick number 4. Another crossing route over the middle. Bolt is there for his 4th interception of the ball game, and for the 3rd or 4th time tonight, that's it. That's ball game.
Yeah,
But
and
thanks for coming. Drive home safely.
It just feels like, we've heard that idiom before. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. What happens if you get fooled 4 times, Tyler? I don't know what shame on. I don't know, your dog. I don't know what you say in that scenario there, but that's just another throw across the middle where it's completely covered. And again, Giovanni Bolt gets another interception.
It was 9 picks from Dave Burr tonight. 10, count them, 10 total turnovers from this Houston offense in a night which they will want to forget immediately. A 15-point margin of victory for Baltimore. 27-12 will more than likely be your final, pending any field goal tomfoolery. They just had Tarkington stats, but I don't think so. I think this is our final score, partner. Houston and everybody else in the stadium just wants to catch their plane ride home at this point.
Yeah, the important thing here is that if anyone picked Baltimore to cover the spread, they got it right. 13.5-point dogs were Houston at home, and Baltimore's going to win it by 15. So great work from Baltimore, especially defensively, to just stifle this Houston defense to just, I almost hate to say it, record-setting levels. Although I do want to correct, only 8 interceptions from Dave Burr, 9 total turnovers, if you include the fumble as well from Law.
There was a 9 in there somewhere. Thank you, partner. This is the final kneel down from from Wigmore tonight. There's about a half-second difference between game clock and play clock. Might see a Tarkington field goal attempt, which would just put more salt in the wound here for Houston. I think they'll just be a little merciful here tonight in this ball game. Baltimore, of course, they stay undefeated. They'll move to 5-0 after the win tonight. They will face Fort Worth back home at Sports Gamers Online Stadium. As for the Houston Headhunters, they will stay here. They will take on, in 2 weeks, the Alamo City Artillery. That's your final, mercifully, 27-12. Vultures with the victory.
Yeah, and this is probably worst case scenario here for Houston as well. Offense just didn't show up. Like, you see the 283 total yards of offense, but that really doesn't tell the story. The 9 in the turnover department does, because it felt like any chance they wanted to throw deep, it was just ill-advised throws from Dave Burr. 8 of the 9 turnovers are Dave Burr interceptions. He finishes 23 of 40 for 214 and a QBR of just 41. It's not going to cut it in this league to throw that many interceptions. The only bright spot out of it is that the spirit of Joey Langdon stays alive, as he's the only player in the SFL to throw for 9 interceptions in a game. But that's pretty much the only bright spot in Houston's offense today. And opening the curtain just a little bit here, there have been some rumors of maybe the coaching staff starting to shift some things around if things don't turn around for Houston this season. And while I don't think that should be the option they go to at this point of the season, after this result, we may see that happen, Tyler. I'm not sure if it will, but that rumor is just going to keep escalating after this performance here tonight.
Well, I hope they keep the defense about the same, because they played extremely well tonight, even in the loss. I think the offense, and I know Houston knows at this point, the offense needs to I'll make a couple of tweaks to make them more competitive. But it's been all Baltimore in the second half of this ball game as it goes final over in Seattle. That's a low-scoring ball game in a defensive, roughhouse over there up in the Pacific Northwest. 10-3 your final. Seattle comes away with their second franchise victory this season, third victory all time as a Seattle Nemesis franchise. If you look at the last remaining highlights, I think you almost have to give it to a defensive player for Baltimore. I think Giovanni Bolt with 4 interceptions might get the nod partner. What do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think Giovanni Bolt with the 4 interceptions, and it's just they've been key interceptions as well, especially the first 2 that he got. Just momentum stoppers for Houston here. But again, I just want to quickly go back to Jacksonville and Seattle game here. 10 turnovers between Seattle and Jacksonville in that game. We had 13 in this game, 23 turnovers tonight. Just a rough outing from both these games here.
Warren Murray gets the nod for player of the game, 115 yards, a touchdown on the ground, and a touchdown through the air. And so, for all of us here at the SFL, and for my stats crew, Greg Soto and Zach Holdorf, and for my partner, Brett Solberg, I'm Tyler Falk. We'll see you tomorrow for more SFL action. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Bye.